So watch this. I just asked Claude to grab a file from my Google Drive, pull 3 numbers out of it, and then drop them into a message. And it actually did it. No copy paste, no downloading anything. It just reached into my other apps and did the work. And the thing that makes this possible is called MCP. And over the last few weeks, I've gone down the rabbit hole on it so you don't have to. So in this video, I'm going to do 3 things. 1, explain what MCP actually is in plain English with zero jargon. 2, show you why it's suddenly everywhere. And 3, walk you through turning it on yourself step by step. And near the end, I will show you the one MCP connection that genuinely changed how I use AI every single day. So stick around for that one. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jake Dawson, and here we get into the AI stuff that actually matters. So let's just dive right in. A quick heads up, by the way, I keep the exact connector setup and the prompts that I actually use in my school community. The link to that is in the description below if you want them. All right, so let's get into it. What is MCP? It stands for Model Context Protocol. And I know that name tells you absolutely nothing, so just forget it for a second. Here's the plain English version. Every AI that you've used, Claude, ChatGPT, whatever it is basically really smart, but it's trapped inside its own little box. It can talk to you, it can think, but it can't reach out and touch your stuff. It can't open your Google Drive. It can't look at your database. It can't send a message to Slack. You've always had to be the middleman. Copy something out of one app, paste it into the AI. Take the answer, paste it back somewhere else. MCP is the thing that removes you as that glue. The way Anthropic describes it is perfect. And yeah, it's genuinely the best way to picture it. MCP is like a USB-C port for AI. So think about that for a second. Before USB-C, every device had its own weird cable. A different plug for your phone, your camera, your laptop, whatever. It was a mess. And then USB-C showed up and it was one port for everything. Plug anything into anything. So MCP is that, but for AI connecting to your tools. So basically, MCP is what lets AI stop just answering you and start actually doing things in your other apps. That's it. That's the whole idea. And everything else is just details on top of that. But so why now? Why is now this the thing everyone won't shut up about all of a sudden? A couple reasons, and they actually matter. First, the timing. So Anthropic, the company behind Claude, they released MCP back at the end of 2024. And for a while, it was kind of a developer thing. It was quiet, and then something clicked because here's the thing about a standard. So it only becomes powerful when everyone agrees to use it. And that's exactly what happened. It didn't stay a Claude-only thing. So over the next year, the other giants adopted it too. Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, Amazon, all of them. So when your biggest competitors adopt your standard, that's when it stops being a feature and it starts being the way things are done. So that is a huge win for anyone using AI, by the way, because it means the connectors that you set up aren't locked into one app now. Second reason, and this is the one that I keep coming back to, so it got handed off to a neutral home. I'll explain. In December 2025, MCP was donated to a new vendor-neutral foundation under the Linksys Foundation, with all of those same companies, OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, backing it. So if that means nothing to you, here's what it means. It's now run by an independent group instead of just one company. And that's the kind of move that tells you it's not a fad. And third, this is the real world reason. It landed at the exact moment everyone got obsessed with AI agents. So you've heard that word everywhere, right? AI agents. So an agent is just an AI that can take actions on its own instead of only chatting. Well, an agent is basically useless if it can't reach any of your tools. MCP is what gives the agent something to actually grab onto. So you had agents becoming the big thing, and MCP quietly being the piece that makes the agents actually work. And that's why it exploded. So it's not hype for hype's sake. It's the boring plumbing that everything else needed. Anyway, so that's why. Let's get into the actual part that you came here for. How do you turn this thing on? All right, so I'm going to show you the no-code way of using MCPs because honestly, for most people, that's all you need right now. So let's say you're in Claude, the desktop app or the web version. The place this all lives is called connectors. So that's the friendly word. When you add a connector, you're really just plugging in an MCP connection. But you never have to know that now. You just click. So here's what it all looks like in practice. You go into your settings, you find connectors, and you get a little directory. So think of it like an app store, but for things that you want your AI to be able to reach. Google Drive, Gmail, your calendar, GitHub, if you're technical, a bunch of others. Let's do a real one. So say I want Claude to be able to see my Google Drive. I click connect on my Drive connector. It pops up the normal Google login screen, the same one you've used 100 times. I approve it, and that's it. It's done. So now in a normal conversation, I can say, find an invoice I saved last Tuesday and pull out the total. And Claude actually goes and does it. So it reaches into Drive, it finds the file, it reads it, it gives me the number, and I never open my Drive. That's the magic moment. So the first time it works, it genuinely feels a bit like a cheat code. Now, a small honest note here, not every connector is just one click. So some of the more advanced ones still need a bit of a setup. And if you're on a free plan versus a paid plan, the list of what you can connect is different. That kind of thing is worth checking before you get too excited here. But the big useful ones, the Google stuff, the everyday tools, those have gotten stupid simple. Once the tool is connected, you can start chaining them. Like read this doc, summarize the key points, and draft me an email about it. So that's 3 tools and 3 steps in one sentence. You're not the glue anymore. So that's the whole promise of MCP actually working right in a normal chat. Okay, this is the one that I teased at the start. Of everything I connected, the one that actually changed my daily habits wasn't the flashy one. It was connecting my AI to my own notes and files. Here's why. So I've got years of stuff scattered everywhere, documents, notes, half-finished idea. Normally, that's just a graveyard. So you save something and you never find it again. But once the AI could just actually reach into all of it, I could just ask, what did I write about this 6 months ago? And it finds it. It connects things that I forgot I ever wrote. It turned a pile of dead files into something that I can actually talk to. And that's the one that stuck, not the demo flashy stuff. The quiet one that saves me 20 minutes of digging around every day. And the thing about MCP nobody puts on a thumbnail, the best use isn't the impressive party trick. It's the boring, repetitive thing that you do every day that just suddenly now happens for you. All right. So before we wrap, my honest take here, because it's not all magic. What's genuinely great about MCPs is that for the first time, AI has felt less like a clever chatbot and more like something that I can actually plug into my life. And because it's an open standard, I'm not betting on just one company now. So that matters. That's a real win. What I would still watch for are 2 things. Number 1, permissions. So when you connect a tool, you're giving the AI access to real stuff, your files, your emails, whatever it is. So I'd think about what you're connecting the same way that you'd think about giving any app access. So start with the low stakes stuff. Get comfortable, and then expand. There have been real conversations this year about MCP security, and connect to everything on day 1 is not the move. Number 2, it's still early-ish for the average person. So the big connectors are smooth, but some of the long tail is still a little rough around the edges. I'm in the curious watching category on the more advanced stuff until it gets a little bit more polished. But the core idea here, that's not going anywhere. This is how AI talks to the rest of your world now. So honestly, I'm really excited to see where this goes. My take right now is that MCP is one of those things that sounds boring, has a terrible name, and quietly turns out to be the most important shift of the year. The connectors that already work here are genuinely useful today, and it's only getting easier. If you want the exact connectors that I've set up and the prompts that I use with them, I keep all of that in my school community. Once again, the link is in the description below. It's where I share all the behind the scenes work, and I give feedback on what people are actually building. Also, let me know in the comments, what's the first thing that you'd want AI to actually reach into? Is it your email? Is it your calendar, your files? You guys, I read every comment. Let me know. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in the next video where we're going to take this even further and get into AI agents properly. Just click on the video to my left and you will see exactly what I mean. I'll see you there.